In Dittofi, everything on your app's page is an element. To add new elements to the page, click on the Add Elements button here. This will bring up a list of pre-built elements. In Dittofi, elements are categorized in the following way. We have elements, which are pre-built HTML elements that Dittofi gives you to jumpstart your app development. Partials and prefabs, which can be used to create libraries of custom reusable elements that will speed up your app development. And custom elements, which are custom HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code that you can import into your app. To add one of Dittofi's pre-built elements to the page, search for an element, and then using drag and drop, you can add the element to your page. For example, here I'm going to search for a columns element. I am then going to drag and drop this directly onto my page. Next, I'm going to search for a heading element and drag and drop this onto the page, nesting this heading element inside of my columns element. I am then going to search for a button element and drag and drop this below my heading element. Last of all, I'm going to search for an image element and drag and drop this onto my page, nesting this image element inside of my second column element. Each of these items that I've added to my page is an element, and I can use these to build up the structure of my website or web app. You can add partial and prefab elements to your page in the same way. As mentioned, these are libraries of reusable elements that you can create when building your app. Here is an example of a partial that I've created called navbar. I can drag and drop this onto my page, and you can see here that this adds a collection of elements to my page that together make up a navbar. When I add the navbar to the page, you can see that this is made up of multiple elements, which are all nested inside of each other. For example, here I have a div block element. A div block is like an empty box, and inside of this div block element, I have this text input element. This structure of nesting elements inside of each other can be seen in two places. Over here on the navigator, which shows how elements are stacked and grouped together throughout my entire page. You can see that selecting elements inside of the navigator will also select them on the page. You can also see the nesting structure in the breadcrumb trail at the bottom of the page. The breadcrumb trail shows us which elements a selected element is nested inside of. For example, here I can click on this text input box, and I can see that this text input box is nested inside of multiple div block elements. Let's rebuild our app's code by clicking the Build Code button and see what we've added to our app so far. So once your code has been built, go to the home page of your app and click Refresh. You can see here that Dittofi has now deployed your updates directly into your app so that the changes can be immediately seen and used. In the next video, we are going to learn about variables and how these can be used to store data on the front end of our app.